We got one storyteller left. He is an Earlham grad, a software engineer, and an entrepreneur. Please welcome to our stage, Eric Dimick Eastman.
So, wow, I can't see anyone out there. This is weird. Yeah. Yeah. So in the summer of 2004, I was living in Wisconsin and working in Chicago. And this story covers events that occurred during that period over the duration of about 2 or 3 seconds. And so it takes me 5 or 6 minutes to tell you about it. So I was commuting by train, and I actually love commuting by train. So you start out, and first you see the rising sun glinting off Lake Michigan, and later there's more buildings, and then suddenly the sun is glinting off glass and steel, and you've arrived downtown. So I have to cross over the Chicago River on this bridge to get to the job site. And I didn't know it yet, but I was walking into a situation that I'd always flubbed before. It had always tripped me up. So I need to take you back. Why is that? Well, I'm really weird, like really weird. And I know what some of you are thinking, like that's the most normal dude I've ever seen. Like I passed by 3 of him just on the way here. And so hold that thought, okay? And if there are parents out there and you're gonna raise weird kids, which I recommend, by the way, it's way better. It's way better. But they have to know that they're weird. They don't have anything to compare it to, right? And if you let your weird kid out of the house thinking they're normal, the world is gonna hit them like a truck. Now, it's gonna hit them like a truck anyways, but if they know, at least they can start to see it coming and figure some things out. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So I was kind of raised by some Quaker hippies, and there's some misconceptions about Quakers. I mean, we don't wear all gray, and we don't all make oats. But we do have this concept of simplicity, right? Where you avoid extravagant luxuries. Well, in my parents' interpretation, extravagant luxuries included potato chips and store-bought bread. So, and also tellingly, they didn't really encourage socially constructed gender norms, or what normal people call being normal. And which, if you're in 2019 on Earlham's campus, that's pretty cool. But when you show up to 3rd grade with shoulder-length hair and your older sister's hand-me-down jeans, it's less cool. And so my parents thought that if you just cut that flower-shaped patch off the jeans, that no one would notice the big dark flower shape on your behind. But they did notice, and I got bullied a lot, pretty mercilessly and continuously. And I was actually pretty good at sports, but I was always picked dead last, like after the dude on crutches with the broken leg, just to drive that point home, what this was about. And I was always insulted. And their go-to insult was Erica Beastwoman. And they're really not the gender, the kind of witty wordsmiths that they're sometimes portrayed on TV. And there were variations on that theme, but that was mostly the gist. And I never knew how to respond. I never knew what to say back, because in order to formulate a comeback, you have to understand what makes the insult insulting. You have to understand that cultural context. And we didn't have a television, and we didn't listen to popular music. I mean, we listened to All Things Considered on NPR, and Pete Seeger on vinyl, which some of you may have to Google these things. So I didn't understand this moral framework they were coming from, and mostly because the thrust of most of these insults was that being female is being inferior, and I just didn't get that, and in fact, I still don't. And thank you. And I was confused by the whole thing. So this becomes relevant shortly. So I get off the train in downtown Chicago, and I notice like 2 cars ahead of me, there's a really beautiful woman who gets off the train in front of me. And we're both walking the same direction. She's got heels on, and I'm in a hurry, so I'm going significantly faster than she is. And the other thing you have to know is that the day before I had cleaned out the car. And all the change that had been on the floor of my car was now in my pocket. And it was bouncing against my thigh with every step, and it was annoying. So here I am, we're walking down the bridge, and just as I come abreast of her, there's a panhandler on the bridge. And he's really looking dejected, which I think is part of the job description for doing that particular job. You can't go into that job looking all put together and happy, or it doesn't work. Anyway, so I see him there, and I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm getting rid of this change that's actively annoying me in my pocket. And so I reach in my pocket, right, and I drop a big fistful of change in the cup. And just as I'm doing that, I see this other man coming the other direction, right? And he's got the whole suit on. It looks like it's silk, maybe. It looks like it's designer, maybe. I don't know from Adam. He's got the Rolex watch on, probably fake. But anyway, so he's got this whole look. And as soon as he sees me do this, he gets this sneer on his face. And I recognize that sneer. I know what's coming, because I've seen that sneer on the elementary school playground over and over again, right? So he comes up and he says, well, that man looks able-bodied to me. And for the first time, I had an idea. And I said, you know what? You look overpaid to me. And then I just keep walking, just brush by him and just keep walking, because I'm late and I've got places to be. But I just feel lighter after that. I'd let go of a weight in that moment. So why have I titled this story "The Perfect Exchange"? It's because everybody wins. Everybody gets something, right? I get rid of this change that's actively annoying me, and this guy gets whatever he gets for $1.93, right? And these 2 folks get a little laugh to brighten up their morning, and I get a pretty woman to laugh at my joke. And finally, the man in the suit gets a valuable life lesson. Thank you.